Hello, everyone, and welcome to Placement Pulse, your one stop destination to learn from the real journey of B school students across India. Today, we have a very special guest with us. Really inspiring. He is an MDI graduate who cracked CAT and made it to MDI Gurgaon and has a strong corporate experience with companies like Oyo, Kotak Mahindra, and Paytm. Thank you for joining us today, Ratikesh. Could you briefly introduce yourself to our audience? Over to you, Ratikesh.
Sure. Thanks, Divya. Thank you so much for providing me this opportunity. Honestly, I am a recent graduate, and I don't think that I have all the wisdom and insights about how I can help the students and this particular platform as well. But I'll try to share my experience, and I hope that there will be students and the content viewers who can get some insights or rather draw some insights from my experience. I'll just try, right? So my name is Ratikesh Sharma, and I'm a recent graduate from MDI Gurgaon, and I recently passed out in March 25, and I did my MBA, or rather, I would say I did my PGDM in strategy, and the journey has been, just like a roller coaster. I would be honest, and there are several companies and brands which have been my employers or mentors, which have been there. As you mentioned, I worked with Oyo Rooms, I worked with Kotak Mahindra Bank, I worked with the Paytm as well. So briefly, my experience expands across the BFSI industry majorly in my previous experiences and as of now as well. I work as a consultant specifically for the BFSI industry, and there are several, I would say, clients of mine from India and across the globe whom I consult regarding the digital transformation. So this is what I do right now, and I'll just try to answer your questions in a candid way, in a transparent way. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, sure. So before proceeding with your experience and what you have achieved in your academics, we would like to know how is Ratikesh as an individual? I'm guessing you were studious from childhood. Don't tell me I'm wrong.
Not at all, to be honest. I'm
Okay.
sorry that I'm saying that you are not wrong all the way across, but yes, I wasn't a very bright student in the starting, so I was fairly average, to be honest, and my I was clearly notorious in many ways, not very bright student, not very excellent, but I had the appetite to learn, and I was very curious since the starting. So that is something which I'm iterating as a script, but this has been something which is intrinsic to me since my childhood. So after completing my BTech, so I am a graduate, and I did my graduation in engineering, right? So that was in computer science, and I started my career as an engineer, as a system engineer. But after some point of time, I got to know that this is not my cup of tea. So this is not what I'm going to do for life. That is fairly simple with me, and I was more inclined towards the business side of corporate and to understand how business works, right? Rather than just to understand or to be working with the engineering side of it. So that is where I switched my domain, and I started working in the marketing, in the business development, and in the brand domain as well for several brands which I created. After working with a few of the brands, I realized that there is some potential, there is some appetite to learn, and I could try. So this is where I just started, scoping for my MBA, or rather, I would say to go forward with my post graduation. And while in that journey, meanwhile, I specifically got inclined towards this particular course, which is known as MDP, which is Management Development Program, which is a leadership program, and that is being taught or catered by IIM Kozhikode. So I learned a lot regarding leadership and business development, and fairly more things in the business side from IIM Kozhikode. I was the part of that curriculum for 1 year straight, and post that I started my preparation for CAT, and I was working with Paytm at that time, and I was parallelly preparing for CAT, and luckily with God's grace that was my first attempt, and I invested myself. This is where I come out to be a good student or a studious person, because I was working during the day, and that was a full-time job, and that was also for the alliance manager, right? This is a job which requires you to be on your toes, right? So I was doing a full-time job during the day and was preparing for CAT during the night hours, and this is where I invested myself, my energy, my time, my focus, and I tried to be studious. And luckily, with God's grace, I scored fairly good CAT percentile in my first attempt, and this was specifically due to one of my good hand with DILR, because I scored 90.9 percentile in DILR, and got
That's
calls from few of the IIMs and T1 business schools, right?
that.
So yeah, I got calls from majorly from all the baby IIMs and the business schools, which include business analytics course of IIM Bangalore, IIM Shillong, and got calls from MDI Gurgaon as well. And I had the chance to weightage which business school should I choose, right?
So
So
this,
I consider myself very lucky because yeah, people crack even one business school. People cracking one business school is a very big thing, and this is where I try to make comparisons. So there are fairly 21 IIMs in total, and MDI is above mostly, I think, 14, 15 IIMs. I'm not sure
right,
of the
right.
exact number,
Absolutely,
but IIM
absolutely,
is,
absolutely, it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there is above 14, 15 IIMs. So I got in touch with few of my mentors as well. And I realized that MDI is something which holds a legacy of 54 years. That is close to
Yes,
IIM
yeah.
Ahmedabad and Bangalore,
Indeed. Yeah.
right? So I should go forward with it, and I should be part of this legacy as well. And I enrolled myself within the program. And the journey, even to crack those IIMs and go forward with the GD process, with the interview process, was quite exhaustive, to be honest.
Yes,
Not very
yeah.
simple,
Y-
but yes, if we we indulge ourselves in a stream, then it is fairly simple. That's not a problem. So
Yeah.
for the students or the aspirational candidates who are working towards cracking something, what I'm iterating right now, this is fairly simple.
Yeah, we would
In
we would
my language,
definitely ask those questions in details. We would like to know, get as much as we can out of you since we have you here, and you yourself can explain the do's and don'ts, and maybe I mean what not. You have your you can share your experience in depth. So since you said that you were not a studious like you were not studious throughout your childhood, but somehow you did engineering and you knew that it was not cup of your tea. So what you also mentioned that you worked at day and studied at night. So being from like
yes.
being not a not so studious student and a person who is working at day and studying at night. So what actually inspired you to do this thing? Like what made you so determined about CAT? And did you like had in your head that I'll have to go with MDI Gurgaon, or you had other colleges in your head too?
Okay. That's a great question, Divya. I'll try to answer it, with my experience, and I'll see, what I can tell you very transparently. So there are two major things why I worked hard regarding, preparing and working during the day, preparing at the night. One, that I am very unstable since the starting, since my childhood. That I told you that I'm very curious, and I don't see myself, you know, uh, I don't see myself content with anything, right? I see myself as as a person who always strive for learning,
Want to learn?
and
Okay.
who wants, yeah, that's something, anything that's not regarding my industry,
Yeah.
that's not regarding my professional life as well, that includes personal aspirations also. So yes, uh, while I was working with corporate, I realized that there are few people in the leadership, right, who makes the strategies, and we people execute the strategies on the ground. Although executing the strategies is great and includes a lot of challenges and is very exciting as well, so that's not a problem. But I realized that yeah, this is something which I want to do, right? I have executed the strategy for fairly 2.5, 3 years, and now I want to make the strategies as well because I do know. So I tried reaching out the corporates. I tried to reach out my leadership. I tried to reach out to my managers, right? But I realized that
And what for
if I,
you were reaching out to your managers for?
for strategies which were there in my head,
Okay,
right?
okay,
For
that's
any
great.
particular product, for any NPD, any new product development, any strategy we could execute in marketing, in branding, and all those things. But I realized that those were getting overshadowed by people who got the brands behind them,
Right.
right? Who got the names behind them, the
Right.
legacy of good B schools, good engineering schools, right? So I realized that this is something which I want to do, and I have the potential, and this is not something which I cannot do. I do have the potential. I can work towards it. So that is one reason why I wanted to do it. And second, that I enrolled for this program at IIM Kozhikode. And when I visited and stayed at the campus of IIM Kozhikode, although that was a 1 year program, and I was there at the campus for a very small period of time, but I conversed with the students who were doing MBA there. So I realized that they had a different mindset, right? The vision and the mission of the people who are working there or who are studying there, the pedigree is fairly different with what I have studied till now, with what the other people who are around me are doing right now, right? But this is something where I reciprocate with more. So this is where which acted as a catalyst to me,
So would you
and I
like to
thought
list
that
at
if
least one item which like sets the IIM students apart from the other B school students? Like if we say it on a broader perspective, like tier one students, if I mean, what is that one difference you find out in between of tier one students and tier two B school students?
So,
Like how do
Divya,
they think
honestly, this
differently?
is
Yeah.
I understand. I understand your question. So this is going to be very subjective. I'm not sure if this is going to be same for everyone. But for me, from my perspective, I would say the cohort which is around you, right? The people, the peer who are studying with you, and the professors or the mentors who are around you makes the big difference. Because if you think of doing something in a manner, let's say you want to reach to B, right, from A, and you have the straight line, you want to reach there straight, but you can reach there in less amount of time and with more productive mindset. Then this is where your peers or the mentors help you to think through, right? And once you get that gist of understanding that how it should be done, right? This is where the T1 business school set them apart, right? The kind of confidence which they generate from the people around you and the mentors who give you that confidence. So if I just put one particular liner in this whole statement, the gist is that it's only about your mindset, how you think. And for me, I believe that you become average of five people you meet in a day, right? So this
Absolutely.
is very important. So
Absolutely.
the people you converse with, the people you learn, the people you converse daily, we see that this is very short, this is very not something of very much importance, but I'm telling you, the people you converse, the people you live with, you become one of them. So yes, the same people you live with, the cohort, the peers and the mentors makes a difference. So this is where the difference is.
Yeah, that's a really good answer that you are average of five people around you. That's absolutely truth. And you said that it shaped you, like while you did MDP program in Kozhikode, that shaped you well. And that's the difference you saw in corporate. The gap was that you had the idea, but since you were not from a tier 1 B school, it was not entertained. And that's where the urge arose of getting a degree from a reputed B school. Therefore, you went to MDP, like to pursue MDP from Kozhikode, and then you proceeded with another degree, which is in from MDI Gurgaon. Would you like to elaborate about what persuaded, like what made you pursue that degree, and what inspired you for MDI to, like, crack CAD, and like one of the toughest exams, right? So what inspired you to crack CAD and choose MDI Gurgaon after you were having a degree from Kozhikode? Like you already had a MDP from Kozhikode, right? So you already had a reputed thing. But since even after this, you went for MDI Gurgaon. So what inspired you for this? And what was your goal actually? What were you thinking behind the scenes that this is something I want to achieve?
Okay, right. So the thing is that when the IM Code MDP is not a degree, right? This is one of the program which they run, right?
Yeah,
And this acted as a catalyst to me because, as I told you, that I saw the cohort, I conversed with the students who were pursuing the full-time MBA there. So I
right.
thought that I could learn the 360-degree perspective of the business. Because being an engineer, I think we can understand, let's say marketing or sales or business development or maybe strategies, but that is in a very linear manner, right? We
Yes,
don't have the idea of how accounting works, how people management is working, how the branding is working, how finance is working, how different perspectives of the business is working. But if you enroll yourself in a course, in a full-time course with a good B school, you get to understand the idea how these things are working. So I always wanted to be someone who can be a master of one but have the idea of everything. So this is
jack
where
of all. Yeah,
we use the term, we use the term which is known as T. So what T is that I am an expert of one thing, right? Let's say that is strategy. And this the parallel bar which is there. This is where I have the understanding of accounting as well, about the HR as well, about the marketing, branding, everything which follows on in a corporate,
so the
right?
base is
So this is
actually
where
a bit of everything, and then you are expert
everything,
of a particular thing. Yeah,
particular thing. Then this is where you strive and you navigate in a corporate, or even if you are doing a business, right? You cannot navigate and you cannot reach the epitome of everything without having the understanding or without following the strategy. To be honest, everyone in terms of resources are getting in terms of learning. If you are getting stagnant, then you are going to vanish out of the industry someday or another. This
absolutely. Yeah,
this is where I'm being very brutal, but because I'm part of the corporate and I also have the obligations and responsibility towards me. So that is where I'm telling. If you don't learn, if you don't want to strive for something which can add something for your company or for your organization, then you'll be just like
you'll become
other
obsolete
people
one day.
who are
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. You'll become obsolete
That's
indeed.
for sure. That's for sure.
So, let me understand it clearly. This is for our audience too. You first did engineering. You had a couple of experience in a couple of companies, and then you went for MDP from Cozy Code, and then now you are at MDI.
So yes, fairly most of the things are right. So I'll just give you a chronological order what I did.
Yeah.
Right. So I did my engineering, BTech in computer science. Then I worked in engineering, domain, and I realized that this is not my cup of tea.
And
I
which
moved
companies
myself.
were those? Like which where you worked at?
So I worked with Oyo Rooms
Okay.
in
As
the
in,
head
as in,
office and central office.
as in,
So
what
I
was your
worked there.
profile?
So I was working with the business development team,
Okay.
and that was for the central organization and for that was into new product development
Okay.
specifically. So they were executing new strategies there, and I was the part of the team. Right. Before that, after my BTech, I worked with a company which is known as Movishasra, which is a
Okay.
UAE-based company where I worked as a system engineer. But
Okay.
I switched from that company because I was not going to work with that company because of the domain for which I was working. Right. Post that, I worked with Kotak Mahindra Bank as well. Then I did my MDP from IIM Kozhikode, and then I prepared for CAT while working with Paytm. And then
Okay.
I did my did enroll myself in MDI at MDI for my MBA, and I completed my MBA in March 25. That is this year.
Okay. So you have already completed your MBA, and you are now
Yes,
placed at.
I'm placed at Decimal Technologies, which is a global boutique consulting firm and deals majorly with the BFSI clients, to be specific. That is banking, finance, and insurance sector
Okay.
at the globe.
So
And I work as a
you
consultant right now.
started as a system engineer, and throughout you changed your journey, and now you are a consultant at BFSI.
Yes.
Okay, that's really inspiring. So now, coming to what placement pearls serve. So, how did you manage your interviews, and how did you prepare for the group discussions?
Okay. So this is what you're talking about, the PMBA part, right?
Right,
Placements.
right, right.
Okay. So see, when I was preparing for the CAT and when I was studying around the VR, CDLR, and Quant, which is a part of the curriculum of CAT, I also started, reading the newspapers. That is something which is very important. To be honest, everyone says it. I am also saying it because this
Yeah,
is something which helps you, increase your reading habits, increase the speed with which you comprehend the content which you are
right.
reading, right? And this cannot be, nothing can help you better than the newspapers, right? Because even if you watch the videos, even if you try to use some application or something in order to make yourself, uh, scrutinize regarding the information or anything, but newspapers are something which gives you information around the current affairs as well, around your readings, around, I would say, finishing yourself in order to be there in the GDs and in the interviews as well. It gives you a fair picture around, everything in a very transparent way. So newspapers are not very biased as per the
Yes,
other media channels, other
absolutely,
media
absolutely.
mediums which are
Yeah.
there. So this is where what I started, reading newspapers during my morning itself. And when I realized that I scored something and I will get a few good opportunities to prepare and to get forward with interviews and GDs, I started to converse with few of the mentors. I started conversing with few of mock interviews as well. Right, this is where I prepared myself, and I specifically went for few mock interviews. Even if it is not someone who is the professional or who has gone through the same process, you can go forward with mock interviews with few of people around you. So this is where you help. So I'll just give one
So you
place that
actually asked people for helping you out with mock interviews. So it was actually talking to a
exactly.
human, not like you just read it out and went and it went
No,
well. Okay, okay.
no.
Please go ahead.
I am a
Yeah,
yeah, I am a person who works in digital transformation, and I
okay.
also integrate the AI and ML in a lot of solutions. But to be
Yeah,
honest, when it comes to preparing for interviews or anything which is going to make a very big difference in your life,
yeah.
don't rely only on AI. Rely on AI, but don't rely only on AI, because the kind of human brain works with, and the kinds of things which the human brain can complement, that is not doable with AI till now, right? So
Yes,
this is where I would only say that the more the more you sweat while you practice, the less you'll bleed in the real war. So
absolutely.
you have to be there and you have to prepare the interviews and GDs with real humans, not AI only.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. So a few takes that you just shared is like reading newspapers for that fair and unbiased news, and also to this also helps you to stand out. Like you bring out the practical
Yes.
scenarios in a group discussion, which definitely sets you apart from the audience. So that was a really good thing. And did you do any other sort of preparation? Like did you utilize any available resources on Google or anywhere for preparing for interviews or group discussions?
Mm. Yeah. So you cannot hold a newspaper, while you are going somewhere, or while you don't have the, time, and you don't have the energy to go forward with everything which is there in the newspaper, because that is also very exhausting in the initial days when you start. So I would suggest, what I also tried is, there are a few applications which are known as in shorts or fin shorts, right? Which
Right,
provides you with very good articles of 5-6 minutes, right? When you
right,
start reading them, you get yourself in the stream. So for me, it is always important. I always say this to people who uh, who are reluctant towards starting, or who don't get the output out of anything which they do. So what I say is, when you stand at the outskirts of a river, you always see that the stream is following in a certain direction, and with very, let's say the currents are very high, and you see that this is very scary. But when you take out your boat, and when you just add yourself in the stream, you realize that that stream will take you somewhere. That is for sure. You won't be stagnant. You won't be staying there. So in order to start regarding anything, right? Be it a GD process, be it placements, be it your real time interviews, be it anything, just go in, right? Just start reading something, right? This is where I'm saying that use applications such as FinShots, InShots, anything. It will take 5-10 minutes of your time, right? But you will get to scrutinize yourself with current affairs, with a lot of learnings. Even your reading will improve, even your comprehension
absolutely.
towards, you know, uh, anything will improve. So, yes, you can also try that.
So, since you mentioned like the way you have set it up is like preparing, like you read a lot, you prepared yourself, like you were exceptionally prepared. It's nothing like you are like, good at it or you are privileged with something. You just prepared hard. So that's the key thing that you did. And then there was human interaction, which helps you a lot because you clearly mentioned that AI cannot help you what human interaction can give you. So that's where I think I would like to pitch in here that that's what exactly Placement Pulse is going to do. They're going to give you some human interaction before you appear for the interview, before you appear for the actual interview. So that's something really crucial we can take away from whatever you are saying. So that's that. And I also know that you were a part of placement cell in your college, right? Yeah, so how did that,
Yes,
like,
yes,
how
it
did
is.
you go ahead to become a member of placement committee, and how did that help you? I mean, if that helped you out in any way.
Okay, so that's a story.
Okay.
So when I entered the B school, I was a person with a full enthusiasm, right? I was, bang on with everything, and I was clearly like a juggernaut. So
Okay.
if there is anything which is coming in my way, I would start it, and I would end it only when I complete it. So nothing before that. So when I entered the B school, I was a person who was good, with doing everything, be it studies, be it anything which is extracurricular, be it anything, be it you know even to converse or helping my cohort or the students around me. So I was the first class representative of my batch, that is the CR of my batch, and this is where I converse with all of my cohort, and I was also conversing with the management, with the professors more in comparison to the other students, because I had to take care of a lot of things in terms of schedule, in terms of lectures, in terms of guest lectures, in terms of preparing a lot of things apart from my studies as well. So when I was the class representative, I realized that this is great. The responsibilities which I'm handling right now will help me in future. That's for sure. Be it in my personal
Absolutely.
life, be it in my professional life as well. So yes, then I got the opportunity to be part of the place com. That is one of the most crucial and most infamous committee of any B
Right,
school,
right, right.
right?
Absolutely.
Because we as a placement officers or placement committee members have to do a lot of things which the students don't like, but that
Yeah,
is solely
absolutely.
because of the purpose of helping everyone, right? I was not the bad placement committee person, guys, so don't judge me on it. So yeah, so the placement committee came in after 1 or 1.5 months, and the interviews started. And there were three panelists who took interview for the placement committee. That included our chairperson as well. That included our HOD as well, and that included other professor as well. So they around I think around 50% of my batch applied for placement committee, and out of them 8 people got selected. I was one of them. because they must have thought that because I am the class representative, so there
Yeah.
must be some,
You
there
already
must be something
had
which they
a background that you
that
already know the class well.
edge.
And yeah, you had an edge.
Exactly. I had an edge towards, understanding the code. So this is where I became the member of placement committee, and I was the POC for Accenture Strat, that is Accenture Strategy, and
Yeah.
a few other good companies as well. They came on the campus and hired few important good candidates. So I'm glad that I was the part of it, and I had the opportunity to serve my institute as well and the students. So yes, that was a great deal. And if you are very good with multitasking, apply for placement committee. If you're not good with multitasking, don't apply for it. Focus on your studies.
Right. It is going to occupy a lot of your time. Even I was a part of a
True.
placement cell in my
True.
college, therefore I know it. So it occupies a lot of your
Wow.
time, and it's not like that you don't learn from it, but you have to be, on your toes and work like I don't know what, maybe 50% extra from the other students. So it's like others are working 100%, you have to work 150%. So that is the truth
Insane
for sure.
amount of productivity.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, indeed. But yeah, that indeed helps you, in order to understand the inside scenes. So that's very essential. Um, and what would you like to say, like the do's and don'ts? So while preparing for interviews, students also fall for, everything that is available in the market. And so how do you ask them to, this is something you should do and this is something you should avoid, this is just a scam or anything like that?
Divya, I would say that there is no particular list which everyone has to follow, right?
Yes,
Even not with
absolutely.
me. It works
Yeah,
with someone, it doesn't works with someone, right? Everyone has their sort of list.
right.
Okay. So for me, even this is subjective, very subjective, but something which is very generalized and very important is that, as you mentioned, that there are a lot of resources, there are a lot of content, there are a lot of people who are out there who are promising you, right, that they'll get this cracked, they'll get that cracked, and everything. But that is not going to happen. You have to work yourself, right? That is one.
Absolutely.
Second, research around where you want to invest your time and energy with, because you cannot go forward everything. You cannot
Yes.
spread your legs and hands in everything with everyone. As
Yeah.
you mentioned, right, placement pulse is there, right,
Yeah.
who will help the
With
students in order
students
to
with
prepare
group
for the
discussions
interviews,
and interviews. Yeah.
everything. That is great, right? So this is a platform where you can go forward with, or some platform which is there, which is working same as you,
So
right?
basically,
People can
need
focus
to,
there.
yeah, yeah. Please proceed. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can enroll in a certain course, and but even if you enroll with any course or any particular platform, you have to work yourself, right?
Yes.
So this is hard. This is hard, I know. And in today's world, the content, mediums are a lot, but you'll have to jot down yourself. You'll have to, the funnel will include a lot of things, but you'll have to take out the crust, which is important
Yes.
for you. So focus
Absolutely.
there, and nothing is very difficult. Nothing is very, something which cannot be done or which is impossible, right? Because I was not a studious person since the starting,
Yeah.
but I
Right.
made it some part of my life. I'm not saying that I have achieved
Yeah.
everything, but I'm still trying. But यार हाँ, जाकिर खान जैसे बोलता है ना, हो जाता है, मेहनत
Yeah,
करो,
absolutely. You just
हो
have to
जाएगा.
start. You have to start. So, like,
Yeah.
to conclude, what you are saying is like, we need to have clarity in our head. That is something we can do, like, only we can do for ourselves. Like, this is not a help
Hmm.
we can get from outside. We have to first clarify that what do we need. Then we need to put effort in that direction. And what you're trying to say is like, there is not one single resource, but we can choose for ourselves. So, that's the gist of it. So, okay, so
Yes.
we have only 5 to 6 minutes left for our meeting to get over. So maybe a last advice you would like to give to everybody who's watching this video
Okay. So I would say that in order to be in the 1% of your country, or rather globe as well,
of the
you'll have
market.
to
Yeah,
increase your vision.
yeah,
Yeah, you'll have to increase your vision. That's very important. That you'll have to think differently, right,
absolutely.
from what other people are thinking. Always have the confidence, or build confidence which is inside, which is
Yes.
not there or there with you, but increase that,
Also,
enhance that.
confidence comes gradually. It's not like you're confident on day one. So you have to keep working
No,
even when you're not confident.
exactly. Don't procrastinate, because this is the
Very
this is
important.
something which is worst. This is
Yeah,
something which is worst. And
yeah.
in today's world, when we are part of everything which is very chaotic, and
Yes,
there are
absolutely.
a lot of distractions. Reduce those distractions. Don't procrastinate. Start. Step out. That is important. Be the juggernaut, like what
Yeah,
I did. Right.
yeah,
Like same what Divya is doing. Right. You must have thought about starting this podcast, and you must have thought about helping the
absolutely.
students around you, which is
Yes,
a great thing to do. Right. And I
yes.
appreciate it. So this is where you must have stepped out somewhere, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
again, same line I would repeat. मेहनत करो, हो जाएगा, हो जाता है. ठीक है? That is important. Just step out. Be the juggernaut. Don't stop until you achieve your goal, and that is very doable.
That's really great advice, and a lot of great insights that you gave to our viewers. I'm sure that it was not only about advice and the insights, it's also about you sharing your journey from being a system engineer to becoming a consultant, getting something you think you're missing out, which was like enrolling for an MDP program, then getting into MDI. It was really, really inspiring. And thank you for all those fantastic advice, and thank you for sharing your journey from cracking CAT to excelling at MDI placement. I'm sure that all of our viewers will take away a lot of practical insights. And this is for our viewers. If you find this session useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Placement Pulse and for more inspiring journeys like this. So, see you in the next video.